everybody, it's Angie and welcome to Hot and Flashy. A few weeks ago, one of my Twitter followers had asked me if I could recommend a matte palette. I'm a big fan of the matte eyeshadow, especially for people who are older, whose eyelids may be crepey or possibly hooded or sagging. I have got to tell you that they are few and far between and very hard to come by. There are a few on the market. I have a number of them to show you today. There are a few that might be your favorite that I don't have here, and I would love to hear from you if you have a favorite all matte palette that you'd like to recommend. But the ones that I have for you today, I found 3 at the drugstore, and I have 1 higher end palette. Most of the palettes are mainly shades of brown, so I find them pretty limiting. My personal preference is that I like to buy individual pots, even though it's a little more expensive, but I can get a specific matte color that really is perfect for my skin tone. But you know, if you don't want to go that route of picking out individual colors, these palettes are great. Alright, now the first one I'm going to show you is this L'Oreal Color Riche Eyeshadow Quad New Essentials in Cuppa Joe, $4.99 at Walmart. Okay, and it has a little graphic on the back that shows you how to use the colors. But what I find about these colors is that there's not that much of a difference between the 2 middle tones. They're very similar. And instead of swatching these for you on camera, I'm going to take pictures of the swatches and I'm just going to bring in the picture so you can see what they swatch like on skin. Of the palettes that I'm going to show you today, this one I found to be the least heavily pigmented. So while these colors look fairly dark on here, it's pretty hard to get them to come out really dark on your eyelid. So if you're looking to do a dark or smoky look, this may not be the palette for you, but this is nice for everyday wear. And if you're new to eyeshadow or not that skilled with eyeshadow, this is a nice place to start, because it's hard to go wrong with this. They go on so sheer and so light that it's really hard to have anything look bad. Now the next one is a Physicians Formula palette, matte collection eyeshadow palette in Canyon Classic. Now this one I liked a lot more than the L'Oreal because it has a little more variation in the colors that you get in here. My personal preference is for taupes and grays. I don't really do a lot of standard browns on my eyelids, so this for me was more my cup of tea. But if you like the standard browns, then the L'Oreal one would be great for you. Alright, so this one I'm going to bring in the swatches and show you the swatches around here somewhere. And yes, I've worn this one a couple of times. These ones are much more pigmented than the L'Oreal palette, so you could actually get some depth of color. You could do a smoky eye with these. There's nothing really dark, like a black or anything, but this would be good for creating a nice subtle day look. But they don't really have a lot of fallout. They're very silky and creamy, and so I think for the money, this is a nice palette. I want to say that this one was about $10 or $11 from Physicians Formula, and I got that at CVS. Alright, this next palette is a Sonia Kashuk palette. It's called Ion Neutral, and this is available at Target. This I paid $19.99 for. It's getting up there, but it does have, let's see, 3, 6, 9, 12 shades in it versus the 4 from the other ones. And this says on the back that it's an instructional palette, and it contains instructions for doing 3 distinct eye looks. Well, I'll tell you what, I couldn't find the instructions anywhere. I saw on YouTube someone else reviewed this, and they had one that was a little bit thicker, and it had sort of a pull-out part that actually had the instructions in it. Mine doesn't. I think they've changed the packaging, gotten rid of the instructions, but they didn't change their sticker on the back, which they probably should. But anyway, when I first got this, I was really excited about the colors. Then when I got it home and started working with it, I could not figure out what to do. The colors are so on the peachy, fawny, warm brown side that it's hard for me to wear them because, like I said before, I don't really go for the warm browns. I go for the cool browns. I just feel like they look better on my skin tone. But if they work for you, this could be a great palette. I actually just did a doe eye tutorial using this palette, and it's really great for that. I had been looking for a really warm peachy color for quite a while, and I finally found it in this palette. Trying to come up with combinations of these I've had a hard time with in the beginning, but now that I've used it a number of times, I love this palette. Now these are very highly pigmented colors, so you can do a lot with them, but they go on really smooth and sheer so that you can build it up to the pigment. And I like that they have everything from the whitest white to the blackest black. So if you're traveling, you could just take this palette with you and you could be good for a week of different looks. All right, the fourth and last one, this is a higher end palette. This is Urban Decay's Naked Basics. I bought this maybe a year ago at Sephora. It was in, the queue where you do the impulse shopping, which apparently I do a lot of. It was $27 at Sephora. This is an all matte palette. This is the only high-end palette that I'm going to show you today. I know that the Balm has one called Meet Matte, but I bought the Balm's Nude Tude palette, and I found that the pots of color were fairly small and that they had a lot of fallout. So I rarely use this palette, and I'm kind of disappointed that I don't. So here are the colors in the Urban Decay palette. And this is a great and versatile palette. This is one of my all-time favorite colors. I use this color almost daily for kind of my middle tone to make my hood recede, and I love that color. This one is actually really nice for doing a highlight, and of course this one you can use a wet brush and use that as an eyeliner if you want, or if you want to do a smoky eye. This is a great palette. I'm very happy with it, and I'm happy that I bought it. So for $27, these are good size swatches. So this travels with me quite frequently with just a couple of brushes, and I am good to go. So that is my recommendations for a few matte palettes for people who are looking for matte eyeshadow. So as always, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time, and I hope you found this helpful. So thanks again, and take care, and have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.